Welcome. In front of me is a Xiaomi Black Shark 5, and today I will go over unboxing along with a brief overview of this phone. So let's just open it up straight away. Okay, so that's basically all we get in a box. A couple of stickers, paperwork, case, and obviously the phone. So I'm gonna put the case on straight away just so we can see how that looks like. There we go. So designed by Black Shark. Okay, so there we go. That's kind of how the case looks like. Let's just quickly turn on. And honestly, it looks exactly the same as it does on the actual Black Shark 5 Pro. So no difference there. Anyway, let's just jump straight to the specs. So we have right here a 6.6 inch 1080p display. It's a AMOLED display with a 144 Hz refresh rate and peak brightness of about 1300 nits. So pretty decent display right here. Now this screen right here is being powered by a Snapdragon 870, which is a 5G chipset, and compared to the 5 Pro is powered by a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, so a bit more powerful processor compared to this one. And I'll mention this right now because I will make a couple comparisons throughout the video to both of these phones. The 5 Pro that I have right here costs $100 more, so it comes at around $600. This comes at around $500. So when I will be making those comparisons, you can actually define yourself, like if it's worth spending more or less depending on what your needs actually are. Now in both cases, I'll also put that out there, we get the 120 Hertz watt charger, not refresh rate, with the cable. So you don't really lose out on any kind of accessories between both of the devices. It's just internals of the phone, and that's the only differences you will have. So let's quickly go through the setup right here. Skip this, and we should have our home screen just in a moment. There we go. So as you can probably see right now, we do have a little bit of a skin going on for the Android. Not the most like friendly looking skin, I would say. It's obviously gamery inspired. So I personally don't really like it, but obviously some people will. So that's fine. You can, if you don't like this, obviously you can apply other like icon packs and stuff like that to change it to fit your needs. Obviously that's Android, so you can do whatever the heck you want with it. We do have a couple applications also in here bloated up. So we have some like weather themes, whatever the heck that is. And yeah, as you can kind of see, there is a couple like bloat applications. Now, moving to the actual phone itself and not the software, at the back we have a triple camera setup, and the main one has a 64 megapixel wide sensor, then we got a 13 megapixel ultra wide and 2 megapixel macro. Now compare that to the actual 5 Pro. 5 Pro will have better cameras. It's 108 megapixel wide, 13 ultra wide and 5 telephoto. So the camera setup on the 5 Pro is going to be significantly better than this. And here we get a 1 sticker camera, 13 megapixel ultra wide and 64 wide. So the wide sensor, I guess, should be probably adequate enough to just capture like basic photos. The macro is just absolute dog water, and ultra wide should be usable. It's basically as far as I can call it. Now I'll mention there is one sensor that is basically the same, which is the ultra wide. Both of the phones have the same one, so 13 megapixel ultra wide. So there's not much difference there. No, yep, it's the same one. So the only one difference in cameras is the wide sensor, which is instead of 64, 108, and we don't get a crappy 2 megapixel like macro as we do on the normal 5. So the camera alone might be a reason to go for the higher model. It's, like I said, $100 more, but the cameras will be better there. And at the front we do have a 16 megapixel wide sensor. Both of them have the same one, so no upgrade there. And like I mentioned before, we have a Snapdragon 870, which is a 5G chipset, and we have a couple of versions of the device that you can get. The one that I have right here is, I think, going to be the lower one. Oh no, never mind. This is like basically the maxed version here. So okay, so as I will just show you, this is the 5 Pro with 256 storage and 12 gigs of RAM. So this is the highest model. The base one is 128 gigs of storage with 8 gigs of RAM, then 128 storage, 12 gigs, and 256 12 gigs. So like I said, highest version of it. It's actually not the one that I have right here. So honestly, with this kind of configuration, I wouldn't be surprised, because I actually haven't checked the pricing of it. I wasn't ordering this phone. It's basically work. So anyway, so I think actually the pricing might be almost the same between these two phones, considering this is the high-end version of it, the most spec'd out one, and I think this one, from what I remember, was the lowest spec'd out one. So 110 to 8 gigs of storage with 256 with 8 gigs of storage, or even 128 with 8 gigs. Yeah, so twice as much storage and 12 gigs of RAM instead of like 8 that I have on the one right here. Though, like I said, this one can also go up high, and one benefit of this one, the highest spec version of this phone, is that if you go with the highest one, which is 512 gigs of storage, hefty amount, probably more than anybody needs, you get 16 gigs of RAM, and the 512 gigs of storage that will be in that phone will be actually NVMe storage. It's an SSD type, which the only other phone that I can think of on top of my head uses it is an iPhone, and that is actually a really good storage, better than the UFS 3.1 that all the other ones use, meaning this one and this together. So yeah. Now, finishing this off, we have a 4650 mAh battery with that stupid 120 hertz watt charger. This is an insane charger for a phone like that, and the advertised speeds for this are just absolutely dumb. So 100% charge from zero to full, 15 minutes advertised. That is bonkers. So yeah, the charger alone for both of these phones is one of the best things that you can probably get on the market. And honestly, if you have an option, I would probably recommend, I assume we can change that in the settings, do not charge it at the full stupid 120 watt speed, just because that will degrade your battery a little bit quicker. And if you want to prioritize longevity of your battery, I would probably recommend using a little bit of a lower end charger, or just seeing if you can lower end settings under battery. So see if we have anything like this here. Where's the battery? I don't even see any settings for the battery. Some security apparently. And yeah, it doesn't look like we have any kind of limitation to lower this, for instance, to 60 watts of charging. That's a little bit of a shame. So if you're planning to have a longevity in your battery life, like not battery life, but like just the battery itself, so you can use it for longer periods and have the actual like durability of the battery last longer, because as you probably are aware, the batteries usually have a certain amount of times they can be recharged. The faster you charge them, the quicker they degrade. So with 120 watt chargers, this will obviously be way quicker than if you'd be, for instance, charging it at 60 watts. So if you have a crappier charger, you might want to utilize that if you don't need to actually like fully charge your device in 15 minutes. So if you're plugging in for the night, use like some just absolute crap charger and charge it slowly. It might charge slowly, but obviously it will be better for the actual battery itself. And finishing this off, just to kind of go over this, the build design of this, a couple additional features which are necessarily just like inherent of the specs. We do have actually no, we don't have a headphone jack. That's interesting. I was pretty sure that they had headphone jack. I guess I was wrong. So yeah, we do have the charging port right here. We have our SIM tray right here, which doesn't look to double as a SD card. So I'm gonna quickly pop it out. Yep, it's just a dual SIM tray. So you cannot expand storage past the given one that you will purchase. Additionally, you have these not air triggers, but the actual triggers, as you can see. They are physical buttons that pop out with this little slider. So you can see that right here. It's one of the most fantastic designs for gaming phones that I think I've seen. I do personally love these. If you have looked at other gaming phones, for instance like Nubia, ZTE Nubia Red Magic, they also have a gaming phone which has triggers, but their triggers are actually just pressure sensitive, so they're like touch surfaces, and it's nice to have those, but in reality you're not getting such a nice feedback as you get with actual buttons like you do here, where you get to press them. They have click to it too, so you can hear that on the camera. So yeah, these are fantastic, and I think Asus phone uses same kind of thing with the pop-up triggers, though they have also some kind of like pressure sensitive back, so it's a little bit more gimmicky, but also that phone costs more. Now anyway, just to finish this off, you get a fantastic package for the price, for about 500 bucks. What I could be probably comparing this to is at this point, nothing phone, just because it costs about the same, and it does have, I think, a little bit lower specs. It looks less gamery and has less features for that. So, and it's actually, I'm probably comparing it because I literally just did an unboxing of it, like previous video. So yeah, both of the phones would come at the same price. But I think if I had to pick, I would probably go with this one, just because it has more features. It has a stupid fast charger, which to me is one of the more important things. I like to have my phone topped up quickly, just kind of how I like it, and I don't care really for the longevity of the battery. And the fact that by default this phone doesn't look too gamery. I mean, it has some like marking like Black Shark and whatever, but it's quite subtle for a gaming phone. Even even this one, if I bring it up, you can see this one has a much more like aggressive look to it compared to just the 5, compared to between like 5 Pro. So this one looks way more like normal, and the only thing that I guess sells it as a gaming phone is the fact that you have this icons right here. They're the only like gamery looking thing. So if you change those, this phone kind of stops looking like a gamer phone, and the only thing that's left is these triggers that can pop out and have this actually obnoxious sound. This is one of the downsides here. Like cool, I mean, I see that it pops out, I literally feel it, but I don't need the sound for it. So that's the only downside here. I hope you can mute this, but other than that, it's an outstanding phone all around if you're looking for a decent mid-range device that performs really well. And yeah, that's basically it. Has just good specs all around, so even if you're not looking for a gaming phone, this is a decent phone in itself. And the benefit, it doesn't really look like a gaming phone out of the box, just the like look of it all around. I did say about roughly the same thing about this one. It doesn't really strike as a super gamery phone. Well, if you put a different case on it, you will completely remove the back look of it, which is probably the thing that sells it the most as a gamer phone. And it has way better internals for, again, just $100 more, but you're getting basically a flagship phone. Like the best processor, super good display right here, basically one of the best ones. It's an OLED display, 144 Hz and all that stuff. So yeah, display is top of the shelf. The cameras are also good. This is one of the upgrades here, which might be a little bit more useful to some people. And like I said, the price here is the thing that sells these devices just super well, because there's not many phones that compare to performance to price like this. So yeah, anyway, to finish this off, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.